family? What's good, family?
Good
Trap, man. Man, this shit feels good to me. I'm gonna be real. Yo, I gotta move this because I like to move. You know what I'm talking about? So first, I just want to thank Early Leisure, man, just for having me. It's crazy what you do when you put God first. I just gotta say that. It's amazing what can happen, how your life can turn around. I like to say that I speak for all the trappers, man. I like to say that I came through the back door investing. How many of y'all heard the podcast? Let me see. Okay, we trapping. We trapping. All right, so I'm gonna just give just a little quick rundown on my story, and then we gonna set this trap house up, right? Because that's what we here for. So y'all don't want to hear too much about me. Y'all want to know how to make the trap do numbers, right?
Yep.
Hold on. Y'all want to know how to make the trap do numbers, right? Yeah. Now we talking, you did. So one thing I want to say too is about Rashad, man. I had never been to New York before. Like, so that's a trapper's dream, right? New York, right? What we doing, family? You know what I'm saying? So I get to New York and Rashad hit me. And he was like, yo, I heard you in New York. You know, you want to come do the podcast? I'm like, say less. But where the hell am I going? He's like, I'm going to send you a map. I'm like, oh, for real? I gotta catch a subway? So he sent me this map, he got all kind of colors on it. I'm like, all right, I'll just figure this shit out, right? You know, one thing about a trapper, man, you don't always have to see a clear path. You just have to know the end result. The end result was, I gotta get the Early Leisure. Right? I had already put that in the universe. Like I had already told the universe, I'm gonna be on this podcast. Because the world needs to hear what I got to say. I need to talk some real trapper shit. And I need y'all to excuse me because I don't curse a lot, but I just have a few things in my head. So y'all got it. So Rashad sends me this map and it has all these colors on it. And I'm like, all right, I don't know what the hell I'm doing right here. So I go to the people, I'm like, hey, yo, I need to get here. And I'm right here. And the man like, well, that's like 1 hour and 30 minutes away. I'm like, say less, that's not a problem. We're going to get there. Just tell me what stop I need to go to. Right? I'm fearless. Right, so one of the things about investing is we have to be fearless, yo. Like fearless. Sometimes we have so many things that can make us, but I'm not gonna do this because I don't have enough money. I really don't understand. For me, that was never the case. When I was hustling in the streets, every day I woke up, I understood 2 things. I could go to jail, or I could get killed today. And I accepted that. Right, it may be a harsh reality, but I accepted it. When you invest in, you have to accept the reality of what you're doing. Don't think about the stuff that can derail you. Because everything has a risk. Where there's no risk, there's no reward. Like y'all know that. Right, so listen to when I talk, it sounds like I'm singing here because I'm from New Orleans. So. It's all right, my words just slurred, y'all just work with me. Feel me? So Rashad sends me this map and I'm looking at the colors, I'm like, this is not gonna do it for me. So I go to the map, I'm like, look, I need to get here. Like, I'm right here. He's like, oh, you gotta catch this train, you gotta catch this train. I'm like, say less. I get on the train, I go live on the train, I get off the train an hour later, and I'm like, Rashad, I'm here. He's like, what? I'm like, I'm here. Come get me. We do the podcast for about 10 o'clock. We stay there 2 hours. I get back on the train, go back to where I was at. I get back to where I'm at like 1 o'clock in the morning. The reason why I said that is because I knew what the end goal was. I knew what I wanted to do, and nothing was gonna stop me. Fearless in anything that I do. One of the reasons why we're not gonna be great investors is because we worried about money. Again, I come from the streets, so I never cared about money. It was always a tool to get me where I needed to go. As long as you learn about money, you'll never get there. Before I get into my story too much, I want everybody to write this down right quick. It's US debt, DEBT, clock.org. Right? When you get a chance, I want you to look at that. It'll show you right now that this economy is $23 trillion in the hole. 23 trillion. And the clock never stops running. Right? So if that clock never stops running, that means it's doing what? Running the debt up. So that means the money that you busting your tail for every day that you cherishing, it ain't worth nothing. You feel me? It ain't worth nothing, family. See, we've been programmed to be consumers because everybody makes money off us, right? This year alone, we spent $2.6 trillion making everybody else rich. Let that number sink in. What would you do with $2.6 trillion? You ain't gotta tell me, you can just tell it to yourself. 2.6 trillion making everybody else rich, yo, that's a number, right? So why not now let our money start working for us? Y'all got that? Y'all understand where I'm at with it? All right, we're gonna start trapping now. All right, so just a real quick story of me, man. At 9 years old, I saw my mom get shot, point blank period. In front of my face, I'm about 200 yards away from her. I'm sitting on a porch from New Orleans, gun violence, it is what it is. When I see my mom get shot, I'm like, okay. I didn't panic, I didn't cry, because I had already been around it, so I knew what it was. A few years later, I became a product of that. Shot a man 6 times, went to jail at 16, didn't blink my eyes about it. Why? Because I already knew the ramifications that came behind gun violence. I was accepting it. Remember, I woke up every day of my life understanding the life that I lived. I knew it, I accepted it, I was with it. I go to prison, 10 years for attempt murder on a robbery at 16 years old, man child, right? Everybody around me was in the streets. Why? Lack of money. Because even if we get the bread, we don't even know what to do with the bread, right? And so when we don't know what to do with the bread, we spend the bread. While everybody else coming up with reasons to make us spend the bread. This is why the same commercial get played every day on TV. This is why you don't like a radio song, but you hear it every day, and then on the 5th time you hear it, you know the lyrics of it. You're like, oh, I don't even like that song, but I know it, right? Because they target you. Why? Because you're gonna spend that money, right? So while I'm in prison, I had a fight, you know, with some homies. That happens. And we call that in prison running a train on it. Now, what that means is, in prison, is when you fight some people back to back to back, right? Y'all just keep fighting, y'all just keep getting it in. It's some real jungle, man, guerrilla shit that's going on enough, but it just happens. And so for me, I'm a man full of pride. I don't care if it's 50 of y'all, it's gonna take all 50 of y'all. Because my mama had a man, right? She had a boy. You know what I'm saying? So after that situation, you know, I'm kind of frustrated, and my mom like, man, you would have been one-on-one, I would have tore your ass up. Took all 4 of them, you know what I'm saying? So I go in the cell with this white guy, and I guess, you know, he just had a situation going on with his son. What happens is we think everybody just know black people. But that showed me that the world is so separated. Because he saw all these black men in jail, and he was like, yo, y'all playing the wrong game. So you know me, you know, you meet somebody tell you something real smart, you kind of meet it with ignorance because you've been around ignorance your whole life. So I was like, you think this a game, family? You see what I got going on right here? Doing 10 years, man, they hit a man 6 times, and I felt proud about that. You know, in the hood, that's, you know, I got busy. My homie doing life sentence, he 18 years old, he shot 2 people. Right, he's doing a life sentence, he ain't felt no kind of way about it. I talked to my sister the other day, I was showing her, one of my homies came on. He hit me, he said, trap. I'm like, he said, free. That's what my people call me, right? Trap is new. He said, free. He said, man, a lot of real niggas you standing on their shoulders, bro. You come a long way. This is my same guy who got hit 6 times. He killed a man and a woman. He was trying to rob them, they shot him, and he killed them. He did 20 years on a manslaughter. Like, these the people who I grew up with. These the people who I've been around. My whole life, it's all I knew. So I'm telling him, you think this a game? We trying to survive out here. He said, that's the problem. Y'all don't even know it's a game. That hit me different. Because how could you win a game that you don't even know you're playing? Right.
Facts.
Feel me? How can you win this game if you don't know you're playing? And then it's spoken in a language that we can't understand. It's just like a book, right? I can put this book in you that's full of information. But if you read the first 3 chapters, and that shit don't catch your attention, you're gonna start rolling weed off that book. That shit has now become a cup holder, remote holder, table leg stand. But it ain't gonna be a book no more. You feel me? So I learned it, and I sat down and I talked to him because he made me feel played. One of the things about the streets, man, that if I feel played about something, I'm gonna take action. And I felt played. Because I don't get played. I know the game. I've been in the streets my whole life, man. I know the game. What you mean somebody playing me? I'm a pawn in the game? Never. I'm a king in this shit. Feel me? But he showed me I'm a pawn. Somebody else moving the pieces. And that shit ain't sit well with my soul. So I learned it. And he told me something. He said, wealthy people do 3 things. And I said this on a podcast, but I love saying it because during my whole 10 years, this changed my life. It changed my perspective. And I still came home and got back in the streets. But I mean, things happen, yeah. And I don't got no slides or nothing because I want y'all to look at me. I don't want your attention to be nowhere else. Because I'm gonna drop some jewels on y'all. We're gonna make this house jump, but I need y'all attention on me because I want y'all to know how serious this is, and I want y'all to know that this shit really changed my life. You looking at it, real talk. So he told me one, he said, wealthy people stop trading time for money. All right, I get it. Next thing he said was wealthy people learn how to make money work for them. Now that I did not understand. All I know how to do is get on a block and get it. That's all I know how to do. I get a pack, I break it down, I understand what it is I'm gonna break it down to. I got my numbers down pat, I'm bleeding the block. If it's the 1st or the 15th, I'm wearing the same clothes for 7 days. Here's what it is. Right? So you make your money work for you. I'm like, man, what you talking about? How do you make money work for you? This blew my mind. He said stocks, real estate, and you start your own business. Okay. You ain't got selling dope, no, ain't no? I see why you ain't here, family. He said, nah, and the 3rd thing is, wealthy people learn how to give people so much value. So even if they decided to leave the business, they wouldn't leave because they knew they couldn't get treated like this anywhere else. How many people work on a job every day and say, man, I would never leave this job, but they treat me too good, my benefits so good, right? My 401k too good, right? That's the game. It's the game. And trust me, there's nothing wrong with having a job. I think you should use your job to leverage your life, right? Let your job be your investor, right? Because you have a consistent cash flow coming in. So now you use that money to buy real estate, to buy mobile homes, to buy stocks. And then at that point, you buy back your freedom. And so for me, that's the most important thing in this world, is having the freedom to do whatever the hell I want to do. It's called time equity, because I own my 24 hours. But you ain't gonna get it overnight. It's gonna take you a minute. But you gotta be able to work for it. So in prison, man, I got into it real good, came home. Crazy thing about prison is a bunch of grown men love to watch the Young and the Restless, family. That blows my mind, man. From the Young and the Restless, the God in Light, the Bold and the Beautiful. I know the history from '89. Miss Chancellor, Victor Newman. You talking about it, family. And then, so I had to outsmart the game. I had to start getting up a little earlier. So all right, y'all gonna watch the stories all day. Look, we not gonna watch The Price is Right, family. Right? Because I need to watch CNBC. And what happened was, I started seeing a bunch of white men talk about millions of dollars, and no dope was involved. I need y'all to understand this, my life was based around that. It's no lie. I'm not lying, I'm not exaggerating, this was my life. Everybody I knew from 16 till 37, well, I done changed my circle now. Shout out to my sister Nita, you hear me? Right? I done changed my circle, but literally everybody around me sold dope, robbed, jacked, kidnapped. Couple murderers on the team. It's cool. I felt comfortable running with wolves, yo. Same thing that made other people uncomfortable, I felt at home. What made me uncomfortable was, how do these white people make all this money and I don't know it? Again, no dope was involved. Blew my mind. So I got into it, I come home, you know, I got this prolific plan, like I'm gonna make $1 million, I'm gonna sell stocks, and I ain't gonna sell dope. I ain't gonna rob, I ain't gonna jack. And then, like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan. Oh, y'all heard the podcast. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. What happens is when you get punched in the face, you retreat. Nothing makes sense anymore. You done forgot everything that you learned for 10 years. And that was me. Man, this shit ain't no good. That's for the white folks, man. What's good, son? I need a pack. Shit real. Right? My dog, when he come through, I'm back on the block. 2 years, I made about 80 bands, had 50 saved. I'm feeling good by myself. Had a brand new Cadillac Escalade, had a nice apartment, right? I'm hot. Right, just around the time Red Monkey jeans was popping, right? You feel me? You feel me, kid? You feel me? Red Monkey jeans popping, Birdman got me on my top, right? I got money to blow, y'all know the Drake song, right? Feeling good by myself. And then what happened? What always happened? I told you, every day that I got up, I understood two things. This could be the day I get killed, or this could be the day I go to jail. But I accepted that reality until they kicked my door in. Now I'm like, oh, this ain't what I signed up for, man. Y'all down bad, y'all got me wrong, right? But they kicked in my door and they ain't find nothing on me. They stopped in my Cadillac truck that I love so much. They ain't find nothing on me. But they wanted what they wanted because somebody said, hey, yo, his name is Free. He drive a Cadillac Escalade. He live in that apartment up there. He's selling coke, dope, and pills. And I think he got pistols in that too. He gave a whole rundown. The thing about stuff like that is it always happens from somebody you done dealt with. That's how the streets operate. That's why investing was so good to me, because it reminded me of the streets. I was kicked in my door. He asked, where you get this from? I said, your mother. I felt good saying it. The ass whooping didn't feel so good. Disrespect him a long way, right? So, they bring me in my house, no search warrant, they get 10 pounds of weed, right? They get 100 X pills. They get a half a pint of lean. They get a 223 with 300 bullets and 2 extended clips. They get a 40 caliber with a 32 round extended clip and a beam. Man said, look at that, you ramble. They just didn't understand my life. Remember, I understood and I accepted my reality. I understood and I accepted. I was blessed because they did all that with no search warrant. I was blessed. It's called fruit of a poisonous tree. Look it up. Leon Howard versus the state of Louisiana. Got found not guilty, 2012. But in the process, I lost it all. All that money that I had, so-called saved, still had my Red Monkey jeans though. Right? Still had my Fendi. Troy always tell me that. Don't forget you like Fendi. Right? Had all that. I was broke. Dead ass broke. So now I'm like, all right, I mean, you know how we get. All right, God, you get me through this situation.
Right.
Y'all done been through some shit. Alright, go. Look, God, you give me through this one, I'm trying to proposition. You know my heart, good. You know what I'm just trying to eat, fam. You ain't never had nobody perfect. Right? You ain't never dealt with nobody perfect. You know I ain't perfect. Even Noah had it. You know, he was a drunk. Moses killed somebody. You forgive him? I did my 10 years, man. Don't be like them people. Right? I get found out guilty, man. Scariest moment of my life. Scariest moment of my life. Why? Because I ain't have control. 12 other people had control of my life. Right? I done been in shootouts. And let me say this, I ain't trying to say this like I was no Al Capone or nothing, yo. This is the norm in New Orleans. Chicago is the norm. Every hood is the norm. I'm just talking to you like another black man that just came out of the hood. My story ain't no different. You feel me? So I'm propositioning, I get found not guilty. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it right this time. But I'm broke. Right? I'm broke. How many of y'all know how I feel when you broke? Right? That shit don't feel good. Shit feels, oh, your spirit feels bad. I tell you, girl, don't even touch me right now. It's gonna be all right. No, it's not gonna be all right. right? So I see some hands over here. And she trying to support you, but you ain't feeling it. And now y'all having unnecessary arguments. Because you ain't got no bread. You can holler at everybody in jail. It's behind bread. 89% of it's behind bread. That's what we need. Right? It's just like oxygen. Everybody say they want it, but nobody don't know what it's like to be without it. Go hold your breath for too long. Watch how people like, that shit ain't working. So I said, okay, I ain't gonna hustle no more. I'm just gonna rob the dope boys. He can't go to the police. And I'm ready to hit out anyway. Right? I got the plug on all the pistols. Right? My partners know how I get down. Matter of fact, I'm the first one on speed dial. Well, y'all want some pistol play? Man, call free, heap out that shit. Right? It's a bad thing though. So I go to my partner, I'm like, look, son, I'm about to get my Omar on. Right? That's how I'm living, family. He's like, what? I'm like, I don't want to sell nothing. Anything I get off anything, I'm like a pirate. Anything I get, I'm selling it. Wholesale. Right? I'm wholesaling. So that's what I do. I get back in the game, I do what I do. Because remember, I accepted the reality of what come with it. Because I needed the bread. I don't know why I needed the bread, but I know I needed the bread. So we went into it. My partners knew me for, if they got a lick, man, free got it. We coming out with 30 bands. Like, nah, if it ain't got 30 bands in it, I don't even want it. Because I don't want to do it every day. I just want to do it when I feel like it. God bless my brother, man. He passed away. But we hit this lick, and it's the lick that changed my life. Hope y'all don't mind telling y'all my story, because I feel like once I tell y'all my story, then y'all can rock with me. Right? Y'all know where I come from. We can touch this on a deeper situation. We can touch this from a deeper place. Right? Just like a musician or anybody else you like. Right? You feel their music because you resonate with them. Once you resonate with them, you can listen to anything they got to tell you. I can tell you throwing tissue paper is good. You feel my paper, like, look, I'll get this paper from. You feel what I'm saying? So just let me get a couple minutes, y'all. We gonna try. So me and my partner go hit this lick, man. I'm like, look, son, got about 80 bands up in here. I say, look, dude, the Dominican. I shouldn't have told him this. I say, nothing against anybody. I say, he a homosexual. But he got that work. I've been watching him for 2 weeks. I can guarantee you we gonna go in here and get about 4 bricks and about 100 bands. He said, word? I said, yes. All right. We go to the spot. We getting busy. I go in there, I do what I do. Dude laying down. Got the dude on the floor. Then I hear, if you move, I'm gonna blow your fucking head off. Turn around. I said, ain't this a bitch? But look, remember what I told you. I'm willing to accept what comes with what I'm doing. Because I'm fearless. I look at the dude with the pistol in my face. Now my head turned. I turn my head because I tell myself this. If he gonna knock my shit loose, I'd rather not even see it. I don't wanna look down the barrel of it. And I done been on the other end of the barrel many times. But this one I'm gonna look at, so I'm cool with it. I can accept it. My heart ain't bumped. I ain't sweat. I ain't break a tip. Like, let's get it over with. My homie saved me. He saved me. Because before I knew it, it's gonna get a little rough. He backed the piss out the dude with the pistol. And I'm gonna tell you something about the streets, yo. Somebody that's a killer, let me say this another way. Somebody who is scared will kill you faster than somebody who's a killer. See, I was in a bad situation because this dude not a killer. He was protecting himself. So I can't read him. He's shaking while he got the gun in my face. I know he gonna pull a trigger just out of fear. He gonna pull it. Feel me? Out of fear he gonna pull it. Because he can't control himself. But I was saved. We get out of the spot. We ain't get no money. We got about like $8,000, and let me tell you something. I put the lick together, and it was 4 of us, and I had to split it $2,000 for each body, so that made me feel bad because it's a lick going bad, and I'm not known for licks that go bad, right? But then I had to give somebody else $500 for stealing a coffin. So now I just hit a lick, And all I got out of it was $1,500. What's even worse was, I risked all my homies' lives. That didn't sit well with me. That didn't sit well with me at all. Because I can take my L, but they ain't signed up for this. They rock with me because they felt we done hit a lick before for 30 bands. We done hit a lick before for 50 bands. We came out this tank with 2. So I go to my partner and I'm like, look, son, that's it for me. He's like, nah, free, we good. That's part of the game. Like, nah, I'm out. I go home. I say my prayers, no lie. You know, I always go back to the big homie. Alright, look, let's figure this one out again, look. Like this time, we're gonna go this kind of again. So I'm like, yo, see what happens in the streets is, once you start thinking, and you stop using instinct, it's time to back up. So I started thinking, damn, I risked my homie's life. Damn, I can't tell his girl that he in jail for $1,500, for $2,000. I was no longer reacting on instinct, I was thinking. So it's time for me to bow out, gracefully. So I said, all right, big homie, what you got for me? Came to my head, you playing the wrong game. I said, what? I said, you playing the wrong game. My life changed. That's the birth of Wall Street trapping. So, y'all with me? Yeah. Y'all trapping? Yeah. All right, you gonna do it? I like that. I like that. So I just had to let y'all know who I am. So here you go. The reason why I love the stock market, the reason why I love it is because people say that real estate is everywhere around us, and it is. But literally 80% of everything that we use, eat, wear, drive, consume, entertain ourselves, these cameras, the people who probably made this plastic top golf thing, is on the stock market. So we've been trained to be consumers, right? What happens is we work hard, right? We work real hard for the bread, only to do what? See y'all track. We never work hard for the bread to make the bread work for us. That's what I love about the stock market. Unlike real estate, where you make nothing against real estate, but you don't need a lawyer, you don't have to worry about closing costs, you don't have to worry about bad maintenance, man. You just take your bread, you research the business, and you let your money work for you. One of the ways that I was able to buy back my freedom was, and I talk about this on the podcast, was I started asking myself this question: how can I buy back my time? How can I? And I realized that every business that I use, AT&T, Apple, it's on the stock market. The great thing is the products are always higher than the stock. 80%. So if I can make $100 and buy 4 shares of AT&T for $36, at that point, I bought back some of my freedom. And on the back end, I now own AT&T. This is the one thing people don't never tell us. The way to build wealth is through ownership. I don't care how much you work, I don't care how much you save. If you don't own some shit, you ain't gonna build wealth. I heard my people move on elite investors. Shout out to them. Yo, didn't they do a dope job? Yeah. I heard them talk about Warren Buffett. See, they went to talking about love language. I wanted to like, yeah, that's what we talking about right here. Okay, let's talk about it, man. So they talk about how Warren Buffett owns not only the company that makes the mobile homes, but he also owns the mobile home park, right? What if I told you you could do that without even spending $3K? Because all you have to do is buy into Warren Buffett's portfolio, and now you own what he owns. Ain't that some gangster shit? Yeah. Feel me? So I'm not saying don't buy no mobile home, but you can buy a Berkshire B and you can own them. That makes sense? Yeah. That's what we talking about. So I want you to write this down. We're gonna give y'all some game, yo. A stock represents ownership, right? It represents ownership. Ask yourself this question. If you went into your house right now, do you have more assets or do you have more liabilities? I'm gonna let that sit on your chest for a second. Do you own more assets or do you own more liabilities? If you own more liabilities, then you need to start tracking. Because the only way that you're gonna build wealth and plant these seeds of generational wealth is by owning assets. My daughter, 3 years old, I just hit a landmark. She now has $10,000 invested. At 3, because I said that I will be the last person that has to get it out the mud in my family. The last person. We change the dynamics with something simple as that. How many of you all are dedicated customers to certain brands? All of us, right? Dedicated customers. How many of you all own the brand that you're dedicated to? That's what I'm talking about. You gotta own it. I went to the mall the other day, and I'm with Nita all the time. We roll together. And we stopped at the mall and I said, hold up. I gotta see who owns this before I spend my money up here. I said, hold up, let me see who owns it. SPG, Simon Group, right? They own all of 89% of all the malls in America. So if you go into the mall and you're gonna spend $200-300, why not spend $100 on a stock that's gonna pay you? See, essentially when stocks pay dividends, it's simply saying that I'm paying you for owning my business. That's as passive as it gets, right? So let's do some numbers. We're gonna talk some talk. Because I ain't just talk about me and my experiences. I know y'all wanna know how to get these trap houses jumping, right? All right. And one of the things we're gonna do is, I'm gonna meet you at your level up here for a minute. And what I mean is, I'm gonna let y'all ask me questions, and we're gonna dig into it. Because the best way for me to feed you all is to meet you where you at. Right? What we looking like, man? I'm good? I need to know that.
No, you good.
Trigger went off, yeah?
No, I'm talking to Troy.
I'm gonna say with you.
So if you got questions, we're gonna line up over there. So that way we can make sure it's recorded.
All right, let me hit y'all with a couple of things. One, we know a stock represents ownership. You'll see 2 words used often, stocks and shares. Right? How many people get confused by hearing that? Hold up. How many people in here are actually investing in the stock market already? Oh, and trap, jump in. How many of y'all started investing after y'all started rocking with me? Nice, that's what we're talking about. How many of y'all understand what y'all doing? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. How many of y'all haven't invested but ready to start? All right, cool. So we know that stocks represent ownership. So let me say this to y'all. Most millionaires, let me rephrase that. If you look at the 5 richest people in the world, 80% of their investment or their wealth is in stocks. Would you believe if I told you that? Here's how they do it. Amazon stock, Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world, right? Tell you what he did. 1997, Amazon goes public. At this point, he was already a billionaire. When a company goes public, that means anybody can invest in it, right? Write that down. It's the difference between public and private. Public means anybody can invest in it. Private means only insiders can invest in it, right? Amazon goes public for $47 a share. He immediately buys $5 million worth of his business at $47. 15 years later, the stock is now at $1,700. Ask me why he's a billionaire. Warren Buffett does the same thing. He bought $2 billion worth of Coca-Cola at $2 a share. Now, the shares are $57. Ask me why he's a billionaire. Mark Zuckerberg bought $5 billion worth of Facebook at $16 a share. 10 years later, the shares are $190. Ask me why he's a billionaire. One of my favorite brands, Louis Vuitton. LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet and Hennessy. Right? Right now in America, $86 a share. When public, he bought it for $4 a share. This is his business. This is why these people become billionaires. One thing I want you to understand is this. When you invest in the stock market, this is going to get a lot of people. When the stock goes down, you do not lose money. You do not lose money. Your equity just decreases. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Or we need to talk about it a little more?
A little more.
Let's talk about it.
Detail, Trap.
We're going to go into it. I like that, Matt. Take the picture, Matt.
Inside joke.
You feel me? So what happens is, it's a thing called institutional investors. This probably be some game, y'all. We're going to talk about it. Institutional investors run the stock market. It's your 401k plans. This is your Roth IRAs. This is your insurance companies. Why they run the stock market? They move because we don't have that much money. They invest in billions of dollars at a time. This is what makes a stock price go up. This is what makes a stock price go down. Y'all with me? Y'all with me? All right. We don't have the power to move the stock price. And here's this analogy I want to give y'all. If I'm selling dope, no matter how good I say my product is, only the consumer can tell you what my product is worth. Because if he tell me my product trash, he gonna tell other consumers that my product trash. And at that point, I can't sell my product. As little investors, as individual investors, we have the upper hand. Because the institutional investors can only go off of numbers. They can only go off numbers. They're not in the stores. So what happens when you see Popeyes, every Popeyes you go to, and you see that thing is flooded? That tell you what? That business doing numbers. So that tells you that you can invest in that business right now. Because you know what's going on. You in the streets, you in the trenches. They gotta wait for them numbers to come up. The numbers tell them what's going on. As the numbers go up, they say, okay, I'll buy a couple million shares. This make sense to y'all?
Yes.
Talk to me, King.
So do you feel like it's real time, things go on trends and then the numbers catch up?
The numbers have to catch up.
Okay, numbers
They have
gotta
to
catch up.
They
Okay.
always have to.
Okay.
And I'll answer that because right there, but we're gonna put the questions toward the end. Matt, give me a Troy, give me a little,
I got you.
let me know, yeah. So what happens is, as the numbers, they can only move off numbers. We can move off what we see. How many times you went in the store, this product is not there. You gotta go to another store, it's not there. You go to another store, it's not there. So your wife, because they smarter than us, calls the store and says, do you have this in stock? And they say, yes, we'll hold it for you. At that point, you know that product is booming, right? See, this stuff is not hard for us. As minor investors, as small investors, we have way more power than we give ourselves credit for. But the reason why we don't give ourselves the credit is because what? We don't know. That's why we don't start tracking. So, institutional investors move the stock market. If they feel good about a stock price goes up. As the stock price goes up, your equity goes up. They don't feel good about a stock, they pull out the stock. Stock price goes down. Stock price goes down, your equity goes down. But you don't lose money until you sell. You don't lose money until you sell. This is why I teach and I educate us on long-term buy and hold. Right? What does that mean? We find the value of a product, we understand that product, and we buy that product at a price that we feel is worth buying. Does that make sense? Yeah. Analogy. You go buy a car. Would you ever pay the sticker price for the car? Why not? Bingo. Stock's the same way. Just because I ask you for a price, it don't mean you got to pay that price. But the only way that you know what this car is worth is by doing what? Come on, man, y'all smart. So y'all already been trapping. You already been trapping, family. How many of y'all want to get into real estate? What if I told you that the stock market was the best place to get into real estate?
Track. Question and answer?
What's up?
Question and answer?
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let me say this right quick.
All right.
So here's the dope thing about real estate and the stock market. When you think about hospitals, when the last time you seen a hospital close down? The hospital only owns the name. They don't own the building. They have to pay that lease to somebody. Right? When the last time you saw a mall close down? Right? They got to sign leases for 10, 15, 20 years. They have companies like Amazon who are not into real estate, but what they do is they get with a real estate investment trust, which is a REIT, and they say, listen, I need you to make me a building or a warehouse that's going to be 20,000 square feet by 20,000 square feet. That real estate investment trust company will go to them and say, cool, we'll make that building for you, but you got to sign a lease for 20 years. So you can not only own Amazon, but you can own the people who make the warehouses for Amazon. Now you just double up in the game. Y'all with me? Yes. You can own Popeyes, you can own McDonald's, right? I actually own a company who make the French fries for McDonald's, and I own McDonald's. I'm gonna double up in the game. I'm loving it. For me, it's all about ownership, and I could never give y'all, I could talk for days. That's why I had to tell them to give me this, because I love this. This changed my life, yo. I look at the stock market every day, all day, because all I see on that is opportunities, and I see numbers, and I see the thing that I love to own. Only invest in what you love. Just because somebody come tell you, hey, yo, this stock popping, if you don't understand it, don't rock with it. There's a million opportunities, yo. You don't have to just ride a wave. I never ride a wave. I never set a trend. I never ride a trend. I do what the research tells me. So check this out. We're gonna let y'all ask me some questions. That's why I ain't really go, because I know y'all got questions. I'm gonna meet you where you at. So I see the people lined up. Let's go, family. I appreciate y'all. I just want to say I love being in here, yo. I love seeing this many like-minded people.
You got questions?
Quick question, do you choose to reinvest your dividends automatically, or do you choose to take a dividend, that dividend income, and reinvest in something else by your choice?
Great question, great question. So y'all know what dividends are?
Yes. Yep.
All right, so we know that dividends are a portion of a profit that a company pays to investors. I want you to know that all companies don't pay dividends. But just because a company doesn't pay a dividend doesn't mean it's not a good company. Facebook doesn't pay a dividend. Google doesn't pay a dividend. Amazon doesn't pay a dividend. But we know one thing, that's a good ass business, right? All right, so I have actually two accounts, family. I have my Roth IRA account, which is my long term, so that's like, I can't touch the time, 65, 59 and a half, and I'm cool with that. And all in that portfolio, I let everything get reinvested. The greatest thing about the stock market is compound interest. It's the money that your money makes. It's the interest that your interest earns. You with me? So all those are reinvested. In my primary account, I actually do what I like to talk about is I pay bills through that. Right, so again, I talked about it on the Earning Leisure podcast. I actually pay my phone bill 4 times a year through my my primary account. So I'm gonna tell y'all something, I ain't never told them about this before, so people always ask me this. You're gonna need a lot of money. Well, I started my account with all trap money. I'm gonna just be real with y'all. It just is what it is. The reason why I started this was because I wanted everybody in the hood to realize that it's a way to clean your money up. That's why I started this. I ain't for everybody. I talk raw, I talk real. Right? My goal was to teach those boys how to reinvest their money, how to clean their money, and I told them all the time, y'all heard it from the podcast, if you get killed or you go to jail, you won't put your people in a position to win. Because when we leave, when we get killed, or we go to the jail, our people suffer. So if you can put them in position, it ain't gonna replace you, but they know you did something to push them forward. So to answer your question, King, I do both. That's good enough, King?
Yeah, that's good.
Appreciate you, King. Need up, King! I can't hear you, family.
Turn on the mic.
When you're looking at a company that has more than one stock, how are they similar and how are they different? Like they have like Class A and Class B. So an example, this would be Berkshire Hathaway, they're Class A, or Class B.
All right, so I'm gonna break that down 2 times. So With Berkshire, we can't afford that shit. I can't speak for nobody else, but I don't have $300,000 right now to invest in one stock. So what Warren Buffett actually did was he started Berkshire B because other fund investors, because his portfolio was doing so great, they mimicked his portfolio, but they didn't do it right. So him, you know how we get, well, you want to do what I do? I'm sure you can't do what I do. I'm the best at it. So he actually created Berkshire B, and it's a replica of his exact portfolio for a cheaper price. I actually own about 5 shares of that now. So what happens is the reason why people have different assets, different classes is because they can hold more ownership in one. Prime example, Alphabet, which is Google, right? They have Google A and Google C, Google B. And so with Google A, they actually own more of their ownership is there. So they still give you a way to get in both times, but it's all about having control of your business. That makes sense to you, King?
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Now you can invest in either one. And some of them may have like tax differentials in it, so that's, you know, everyone is just set up kind of different.
Hi, so my question is for someone who's brand new,
Yes, ma'am.
doesn't know how to invest.
Yes, ma'am.
I've heard your podcast, I've listened to you do a webinar too, and you mentioned don't do anything without researching. But what does research look like? Like, it's just a bunch of data, so how do I know what thing is good and what thing is bad when I don't know anything from anything?
Great question.
Check this out. See how I get put on the spot?
Stay in frame, bro. Stay in
Feel like a flex. I got you, man. That on my ass. So, the research tells you exactly what the business does. The research tells you how does the business make money. The research tells you is the business losing money. The research tells you how much money is coming in the business. The research tells you how much of this business do the people who run the business own. You feel me? That's what the research tells you, Queen. How many of y'all in here like rock with me on the ground? All right, so look, I did a Black Friday sale for the ground. My course cost $497. How many people got that for $99? One person? Cool, I like that. Check it out. Y'all right. Y'all
I got it for more.
Y'all know I like wrong. Everyone wants y'all to know that. So Wall Street Shopping course breaks all that down for y'all. So everybody, if you DM me, you get it for $99 because I was too lazy and Miami was doing good for me, so I ain't never changed the code. So if you DM me, that'll break down your research for you, Queen. So research actually tells you everything you need to know about a business. So let me tell you something even better about that. When I talk about understanding the core product of a business, prime example, if I told you to invest in Amazon, right, what would you think the core product of Amazon is? Anybody, tell me. Huh? Bingo. What y'all say?
Data.
Right?
Data.
So here it is. Retail, Amazon doesn't care about retail. It's not where they make the majority of their money from. Amazon Web Service makes 80% of their money. They're the largest cloud service on the world, but you wouldn't know that. This is what your research will tell you, Queen. Understand the core business. If I told you Walmart, what would their core product be? What is their selling point? Everything you get in Walmart is on credit. They're the low price leader. This is why they can match prices. A lot of stores can't do that, right? The research tells you that. You get what I'm saying, Queen? You need to understand, is this business profitable or is it not? How much revenue coming in? What they did the last 5 years? What are they looking at the last 10 years? We can't be scared to read people and don't let the numbers scare you. That makes sense to you, Queen?
Yes, and I just want to know how do you know if it's a good long-term investment though? Because it may be doing good now. Like for example, you hear a lot of people talking about Bitcoin or Forex, and that's kind of wavy, right? But how do you know if that's a good long-term investment? It's like the numbers may look good now, but how do you know, for your point, if it's a good buy and hold?
So one thing about me is, I love ownership, right? Like that's just, so Bitcoin to me, I can't own that. Forex to me, I can't own that. So that ain't my playing field. Is there money in it? They got money in everything. If I sell enough Tylenol, I can make some money. You know what I'm saying? For me, I love ownership, right? I love ownership. So for me, I need to understand, is this business growing? Is it in a growing market? What has the business done the last 4 years? Has it been profitable? Again, the thing about the business is also who's running the business. how have they performed? How has the business performed since they've been running the business? For me, I need to get personal with it because if you follow me, if y'all on the ground, y'all know I all the time go into Shake Shack because I own it. I will go in there, I'll be like, yo, I like this, I love what y'all doing, right here, man. So you know I own it, right? The lady be like, what are you talking about, Trap? I'll be like, yo, yeah, I own it, you know, this is my business. So always just understanding how the business runs. Understanding is the business if a business is not growing, you don't want no part of it. Right or wrong? Because it's declining. Is the industry growing? Right, we need to know these things. Great question, Queen. I'm telling y'all right now, though, I'm dead ass serious. Though. I was in Miami, I had a ball, so I never took the coat off. So if you DM me while you in here, you can get that joint for $99. If you don't DM me, by the time I leave DC, it's gonna be back at $497. And you can't get it. I'm an opportunity. Anytime somebody puts me with an opportunity, I'm jumping on.
There we go. Trap.
Look, matter of fact, DM me the word DC. DM me the word DC. No, I didn't keep it true. DC trap jumping. You feel it?
Trap jumping.
Yeah, DM me DC trap jumping, and I'm gonna send you the link to the course. I'm gonna give you the code. You'll get it for $99. Again, it's on you if you don't get it. Because once I leave DC, because it's cold out here, I can get back in my right frame of mind. Motion views change your life. What you got, family?
All right. So I heard about a glitch, right? And
A glitch?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So basically, you can buy like say for example, Facebook stock with the S&P at say $10, right? And, but I think it's like a 20-second span, and be able to sell it at Nasdaq for $20 and make a $10 profit. Is there anything about that?
Stay away from that, man. Listen, anytime you mess with that, listen, I'm gonna be real. Like, when you buying and selling stocks, it's no such thing as, to my knowledge, you can't buy it on the S&P and then sell it on the Nasdaq. You're gonna buy it on the market and you're gonna sell it back to the market. So anytime they got a glitch involved, that's a red flag to me. Right? I stay away from red flag because I'm dealing with the white folk money. White folk want their money to be right. Only they do backdoor deals. And so when we found out how the backdoor deals go, we jump in. It's like Martha Stewart, right? Somebody came up with a backdoor deal, right? Martha, move your money. What? You ain't gotta tell me twice. Martha moved her money. People say, Martha, why you move your money? Man, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, go lay your ass down. All right, cool. I'm gonna lay my ass down. I still got my billions of dollars. How that when I get back? When I get out, I'm richer than I was when I went in. Stock market shit. You feel me? You try to jump. What you got, King?
So, where do you start? Like, what's your feelings on stuff like Robinhood, Stash, Acorn?
Nice.
Or should you just go ahead to something like, like a Waterhouse or whatever, Charles Fidelity or something like that?
All right, cool. That's a great question because people always ask me that. So how I feel is, I think it's great to start with Robinhood. I actually had my students in my Travelers Anonymous class. The two dudes that run Robinhood actually did an interview, and I made them research that whole interview. The great thing about Robinhood is it's user-friendly, right? But it lacks a lot of features. And they actually have a lag, so they don't actually have real-time stats. It's always like 20 seconds later. A lot can happen in 20 seconds on the stock market. You feel what I'm saying? Like a lot. A price can go from $10 to $100 in 20 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So I think Robinhood is good. EYL is good, right? All those are good. But because they lack, the most important thing to me is being able to reinvest my money. Right, because you get taxed. So your dividends in Robinhood and EYL, you have to cash them out, or they put them in your account. With TD Ameritrade, who I love, and a lot of the bigger ones, you can automatically reinvest them. Here's a gem. Find out how much your business is, right? Check this out. If a company pays dividends, like etch this in your brain, this is how you make your money work. You optimize it. Find out how much the stock price is. Then you find out how much the dividend payment is, which it'll tell you. Anytime you go to a spot and they have dividend yield on it, right? Dividend yield is a percentage of the stock price that is coming back to you as an investor in profit. Let me say that again. So if you go to a business and it says dividend yield is 5%, and the stock price is $100. Then 5% of that 100 is the dividend that they paying to you. Does that make sense?
The stock price you bought it at?
Yeah, so whatever the stock price is
At that
currently.
time.
Yeah, so whatever that dividend yield is, first, if you see dividend yield, you see a number by it, you know they're paying dividends. Whatever that number is, that 5% or 2.9% of the stock price is what you get as an investor. Here's the glitch, here's the love, find out once you find out what that percentage is, you give it a number. Find out how many shares of this business that you need, right, in order for this dividend to buy you another business. For AT&T, I needed 290 shares. I dropped 6 bands on them. My daughter right now owns about 120 shares of AT&T. At this point now in her life, every year they will buy her 2 shares. I don't have to put no money in AT&T.
Off this.
For 6,000. Yeah, off of that.
And as the stock price goes up, so I bought AT&T actually at like $27. So it's a difference. But for my daughter, I actually bought it at about, I want to say 29. So I got to add some more. Right now, they can buy her 1 share a year just through reinvesting her dividends. The goal for me is to get her 2 shares a year. So now every year she'll get 2 shares of AT&T by reinvesting them dividends. That's the power of compound interest. That's how you make your money work for you. By the time she's 18, she'll be a millionaire for sure.
We got time for one more question. Anybody have one more question?
Let's go, King. I seen you shout out a couple answers too. I'm ready for you.
What's going on, boss?
What's good, King?
Question.
on with
So
it.
I deal with, when I started stocks, I started off doing penny stocks.
Okay.
Because 1, I was cheap, and 2, I didn't want to lose too much money.
Look at that quick flip too.
Yeah.
Say that part.
So there, that quick flip. So now, what I do is options.
Crazy.
So what are your, what's your opinion on options?
So I actually do options myself, but the way that I do it is completely different from everybody else. So they actually have people that can teach you this, and you will have to learn graphs, you have to learn charts, right? But I'm a trapper, bro. I don't have time for that, right? So I literally made $3,000 right at $2,700 one day doing simply this. Because I understand how the market works. Now I'm not about to tell you that I'm like a guru. Like I ain't like your boy come on and say I am Tim Robin. I can show you how to make the #1 option trading strategy in the world. That's not me. Prime example of what I did. Because I know the market and because I know the market works on greed and fear. It's the 2 elements that make the market move. They're gonna be greedy or they fearful. When they're greedy, they buy. Stock prices go up. When they get scared about something, stock prices go down. We know that, right? Here's what I did. Elon Musk was on a Joe Rogan show, smoking weed. Immediately I knew nobody was gonna get scared. Nobody was about to do him something. He can't do his own national TV like this. People about to pull their money. I went to TD Ameritrade. I bought $3,000 worth of put options. So I don't want to go over nobody's head. So in options, calls are when the stock price, you saying that the stock price is gonna go up at a certain number. Puts are when you say a stock price is gonna go down at a certain number. You say that the stock is gonna be at this price at whatever price. I mean, it's gonna be at this price at whatever date, right? They may cost you 50 cents, they may cost you $1, but you have to buy 100 shares. You with me, King? And I don't want to go over nobody's head, so like, don't listen to it, but listen to it. I bought $3,000 worth of put options, and I said that Tesla was going to go to 275 within 2 weeks. In 2 days, it dropped, and I made $2,800. I took my money out. I was cool. Am I the person to teach you options? Hell no. Can you make a lot of money in it? Hell yeah. Right? But just know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel good about it, do your research, do your homework, learn it, fam. Check out this people called Tasty Works.
Yeah.
They on there, and check out I forgot the other people's name, but they on YouTube, they do a lot, but I'm not the one to teach you that, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Can you talk about the you did something with Apple. I saw on your Instagram page when you bought Apple like a year ago.
Yeah.
And then can you talk about that? Why you bought it? How much money that?
Okay, cool. So what happens was I bought Apple at 165, right? I bought it at 165. I bought about 20 shares. So I'm talking to my partner. I'm like, look, we need to buy this Apple stock, man. It's popping. I done had every iPhone since I came home from prison, right? I need to own this shit. right? I've been buying since 2008. It's 2018. I need to own it, right? So he's like, all right, cool, let's do it. So what happened was, again, this goes into the idea of you lose money when you sell. Understanding the business. So we bought it at 165. The price shot up to 225 October last year. Also, when you buy stock, understand the other businesses that's connected to a business, subsidiaries, right? So, example, how many of y'all remember when people were boycotting Gucci? Right? And people were like, don't buy Gucci. Oh, all right, but if you're still gonna buy YSL, you're still buying Gucci. If you're still gonna buy Prada, you're still buying Gucci because they're all under the same brand, right? So this was, and I'm gonna get to that, let me say this. So companies have what's called OC insurance, right? So when the stock price fell, they can file a claim, right? Let me give y'all some game. The business can file a claim, right? They can go to the people and say, listen, the stock price fell to some type of calamity that we don't have no dealings with. So the insurance company is going to, okay, here's your money. They can then turn around, take that insurance money, and do what's called a share buyback. They'll take that money, because y'all so-called boycotting, made my stock price fall, I can now buy my own stock at a cheaper price and bring my stock back up. Who won, me or you? That's how the game goes. So you boycotting Gucci with Prada and Louis Vuitton, you know, they still doing anything. So what happened was I actually bought Apple at 165. Stock price shot up to 230. When I bought Apple, everything in my phone, Apple has, it's called an Apple chain. So there's people that make the glass, there's people that make the camera, there's people that make the casing, there's people that make the chip, there's people that make the buttons, there's a people called Glue Mobile, they make all the apps, right? Texas Instrument, they have some things in there too. So you understand all the subsidiaries it takes to make this business run, right? So what happened was a business called Skyward Solutions, they're a part of the Apple iChain, and I'm not trying to tell you like I'm smart, I just watch this shit all day, right? They had a bad earnings call. An earnings call is what happens is every business on the stock market, because they're public, they have to tell you everything they're doing. They can't hide nothing from you. So because I understood that, and I said, yo, they messed up. So I already know Apple is the #2 most traded company on the stock market. So if anything happens in the economy, something's gonna happen to Apple. Point blank, period. So because Skyward Solutions had a bad, they was putting out some bad products, on the back end, it's gonna affect Apple due to them being connected. So I called my partner, I said, look, son, and his Apple stock about to fall down for a minute. It's already overvalued. Let's do what's called, take some money off the table. Taking some money off the table means I'm gonna sell some of this stock and I'm gonna use it to buy either another stock on my list or I'm gonna use it to buy more Apple if it gets in my price range. Right, y'all with me? Mm-hmm. So my partner said, oh man, you tripping. That shit happen all the time in the market. You acting like a fresh fish. All right, it's cool. Sometimes it's good to go with your gut, right? I can bring you to the lake, but I can't make you drink, family. I said, all right, cool. I sold 15 shares of Apple, which was a good profit. I let it stay there. By December, old Donald Trump went to doing what he do. He went to talking his talk. And so with these trade wars, it brought the stock back down. And then the whole stock market in December was down 22%, right? So I was able to get Apple at 142. All I did was take the 15 shares that I had sold, repurposed it, bought some more shares of Apple, and I went from 20 shares to 35 shares. And right now I'm up $7,000 on Apple. And I ain't did nothing. The greatest thing about the stock market is this. The hardest thing to do is build $1 billion business. The easiest thing to do is invest in one. When you invest in the stock market, you are betting on America. I don't know about y'all, even though you might don't like what's going on, think about how hard they work to get this thing running. Off of our backs, off some low-down backdoor deals, right? You think they about to let this thing fall down? I don't know about y'all, they might take a dip, but it ain't going nowhere. So I'm betting on it for the long haul. So everything I do, that's how I'm built. I'm built on, okay, I understand the game, so I just won't play it. the best way for us to get in the game is to learn the rules, to see who playing the game, and then we see how we fit in. So man, look, I'm a trapper, man.